TOA, Fit Body Forever, and Fit Body Bootcamp communities. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Robert Linkle, trainingtheolderadult.com, here to talk to you today about some training strategies that have been implemented and practiced for a certain individual his entire life, and as the aging process has occurred, we've seen some amazing results, okay? First of all, though, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor of today's video, trainingtheolderadult.com. I wanted to give you just a very, very brief and quick look at TOA Select, which is our online certification for personal trainers. Pop over there, take a look-see. You can get TOA certified, learn everything you need to know about training your older adults to avoid the big three: osteopenia, sarcopenia, and obesity. Osteosarcobesity are big three battling components as we age. We have our exercise libraries, our mobility libraries, programming, you name it. We've got everything you need on there, including continued education, monthly webinars. We have Q&As. We have all types of different membership rights inside the software that gives you a fantastic opportunity to learn everything that you need to know to train your older adult clients. So thank you to TOA for sponsoring us today. I thought that would be kind of fun to go through. Of course, they're our sponsor. That's our program. But let's get into the video here. Now, I don't know this gentleman's name, but I'm really impressed with this. I am going to zoom in here so everybody can get a little bit better view of this as we review it. I'm going to let it run, and then we're going to come back and discuss this a little bit. So here we go.
Years of age, I can still lift heavy because I still lift heavy. I can still run fast because I still run fast. I can still jump high because I still jump high. If you train it, you can maintain it. In previous eras, it was believed that as you got older, you had to tone things down. This new era of 50, 60, 70-year-olds understand that as you get older, you got to turn things up. You're about to witness the full potential from a physical standpoint that a 50, 60, 70-year-old can accomplish in this new era, because you'll never know your limits unless you push it to the limit.
Tell me that's not fantastic. I mean, I can't agree with this gentleman more, how much I enjoy seeing this. And he nails it with the whole idea of, if you're not using it, you're going to lose it. And if you continue to train it, you'll maintain it. I think this is a key component to when we look at something like the sarcopenia curve, okay? We see this natural decline of muscle development and function to a point where we have a diminished return in our ability. Now, this is supposed to represent the average person's lifespan and what happens to them. When they are younger, they are babies, they are going to start off in that bottom left corner, and they're not going to be strong, they're not going to have muscle mass, they're not going to have great coordination, etc. As they continue to get older and older, right around 18 to 35 is where we're going to meet our maximal muscular potential. Meaning at around 35, this curve is going to start to descend. Now, the definition of sarcopenia is the age-related loss of muscle mass and function. And my belief and my suggestion to all of you is that that is not an age-related loss of muscle mass and function. It's a deconditioned loss of muscle mass and function. Meaning, if people were to strength train their entire lives from 10 on, and just keep maintaining positive strength and bone density and muscle mass, that this curve would not be nearly as drastic as this, let alone get to a point where you hit the point of disability, which is called the disability threshold, okay? So right around 30, 35, we're gonna be at our adult healthiest. And then the deconditioned sedentary individual, the orange line, right around 60, you're gonna hit that disability threshold where you're gonna need a cane or a walker, you're gonna need somebody else to help take care of you, etc. If you're not completely sedentary, you're just doing kind of basic life and just moving around and going to the grocery store, etc., but you don't exercise, you'll live a little bit longer before you hit that, and let's call that 65 or 70. That's your normal decline, quote unquote normal. But again, deconditioned normal, meaning they're not doing any kind of activity. Now, let's say you just do cardio and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go on walks every day. I might go swimming or do spin classes or biking, etc. Or unloaded lifts or unloaded activities like yoga or Tai Chi, etc. All these things great for your cardiovascular health, your balance, your coordination, all of that. Cognitive, sleep, all that, great. But it does not include any external load other than your body weight, which is not enough, by the way, to help you build, maintain bone density, muscle mass, etc. So yes, you'll live longer before you hit the disability threshold. Let's call it 75 now. However, you're gonna end up in that place because though your cardiovascular health and system is doing better, the bone density and muscle mass component that's gonna help carry you through life is going to decline because you're not doing anything to build it. Now, if you're the gray line, this individual is doing resistance training. They're working with kettlebells or dumbbells. They're doing some band work. They're pushing sleds. They're running and jumping, and they're doing sprints, and they're doing change in direction drills, and they're doing all this. This is going to reduce drastically inflammation in their body. It's going to increase body composition. Now, people hear that and they go, oh, that means I'm going to get heavier. It means you're going to get more muscle mass is what that means. You're going to get more muscle mass. But body composition does not mean more fat or less fat. Body composition is simply what makes up my body. Is it more muscle mass? Is it more body fat? Is it more organs and bones, etc.? So if you go from a 50-year-old with a 25% body fat to a 55-year-old with a 20% body fat, so you lose 5% of your body fat, and your weight stays exactly the same. That was a massive positive change. You got rid of 15 to 20 pounds of body fat off your body, but the weight stayed the same. So wouldn't they be leaner? Not if they replaced it with muscle mass, okay? And so when you look at body fat compared to muscle mass, the same 5 pounds of body fat would be this big. And 5 pounds of muscle mass is quite a bit smaller because it's more dense. So even though you're the same weight, you're replacing muscle mass, you're replacing body fat with muscle mass, people will appear thinner, leaner, lighter, etc., even though they're the same weight. Now, the whole goal in this is, in my opinion, is that you never reach the disability threshold, that you are completely independent and capable and self-sufficient all the way up to 102, and then you just die in your sleep. Like, that's the goal. Is I don't want you to ever end up bedridden and just slowly dying month over month over month and slowly withering away to where now I can't get out of bed, I can't do anything other than talk and communicate, and then eventually that starts to go. That would be a miserable way for someone to end their amazing existence of life, where we would rather you go out with your boots on, quote unquote, where you're up and you're able and you're capable and you're doing all the things you want, and then heart attack dead or whatever, just die of old age at 102 or whatever that is. I feel like that would be the grace of a great ending of life, is to just let it go lights out quick and you're done. And I don't mean to be morbid by talking about this, but this is a reality. We're all going to go at some time. How do you want to go out? And I don't want to go out laying down or being bedridden. I want to be on my feet and under my own power. And the way to do that is to continue to train like this individual. This gentleman has the right mindset 100%. That if you continue to develop and use the skills that this gentleman has, I'm going to say at a young athletic age of 13 to 18, and then has continued to do this as he has gone through into his 53rd year of life, that he is going to maintain these abilities throughout his lifetime. Now, will it be the heaviest squat he's ever squatted? No. Will it be the fastest sprint that he's ever done? No. But compared to the average peer at 53, this guy's Superman, okay? There's 53-year-olds out there that can't do any of this, like the old-fashioned 53-year-old. When my dad was 53, he was ancient, right? He was an old man. He grunted when he stood up and when he sat down. He didn't run. He didn't lift weights. He didn't do anything. He was 105 years old in my mind, right? My dad was younger at 78 when he died than he was at 53 when he was in his best health, because he started resistance training later in life with me. The last 3 years of his life, he got strong. And that changed him. It made him more capable and able. And he was at a point where cognitively he was starting to decline, where we were all worrying about him. And we were like, oh no, this marks the end. And then as we got more exercise built into his daily practices in life, all that went away and his cognition came back, his abilities came back. He went back to driving, like everything came back as his entire body started to get stronger. This gentleman's benching, I don't know, what does he have on here? 335s, so that's 70, 105 on each side. So he's got 210 plus the 45s, so 255-ish, somewhere around in there. And he's just repping out, right? Repping it out on there, 255 pounds, which is probably close to what he weighs. Okay, preacher curls, sprints uphill, right? Sprints on the track, and look, he's leading the way. Everybody else is tailing behind him, jumping over. Jumping is so important here, especially for the aging body. Being able to get your knees and toes up. Look at that, these tuck jumps he's doing. He's clearing that thing by 6 inches. Like that impact, that explosive, dynamic response off the ground, jumping like that is fantastic for his ability. He's nowhere near being a fall risk at 53. Pushing the sled with a couple 100 pounds on there, driving that thing, keeping his butt and his glutes strong. These awesome range of motion dips, not only with just his body weight, but with another 105 pounds or whatever he's got dangling off of his hips there. Look at the delts on this guy. He looks amazing. And though, yes, he is a little upper body heavy, I would say, definitely trains his upper body more than his lower body, still doing plenty of leg work. He's getting his sprints in. He's playing tennis, a little stiff on the leg swings, backpedaling, changing direction. Look what we got here, 315-pound box squats. 315, he's 53 years old. Okay, and his leg development is good, but not amazing. You wouldn't say like, oh, this is a former Olympic lifter who still has it. Like, this is just a very athletic guy who apparently is maybe related to Terry Crews. Dude's got the pec pop. He's got everything going for him here. This is an awesome 53-year-old. Like, I cannot express to you how valuable this style of training, this muscle mass that he has, all of these different directions that he's training in, all these abilities that he's practicing. I can't express to you how important this is for his life as he continues to practice these skills and work his way through age. He is only going to continue to climb the chart of his peers and the average individual's ability. And he's going to be in the top 10% right now. And when he hits 60, he's going to be in the top 5%. And when he hits 70, he's going to be in the top 1%. At no point is this individual, if he keeps doing all this, is he going to get to a point where he is a frail, withering away, fall risk individual that can barely get up and move about under his own power. I think Terry Crews Jr. here, whoever this is, I think he is going to be a very athletic, a very tall postured, a very good postured, muscularly dense individual as he works his way through the aging process. And it's because he's continuing to do this. There's one line on here. I want to go back to it. I'll turn the volume back up. There's one line he says that I think is just awesome. Let's listen to this one more time.
3 years of age, I can still lift heavy because I still lift heavy. I can still run fast because I still run fast. I can still jump high because I still jump high. If you train it, you can maintain it.
That's the line. If you train it, you can maintain it. And as he says, I can still lift and I can still sprint and I can still do things because I continue to do things. I was at a birthday party for a very dear friend of ours last night. Her parents were there. Her grandparents were there. And during the entire celebration, the two grandmas sat in the corner and didn't really participate or do much in the party itself because they weren't physically capable in doing so. Where the grandpas are a little bit more active in their day-to-day and they still continue to carry about, work on the yard, work with tools, work in their shops. They do a bit more. And because they're manipulating that load, their bodies have maintained strength. And though the same ages as their spouse, the spouses don't do any resistance training of any sort, organized in the weight room or just working with anything of load throughout their daily practices. And it was noticeable in the room when watching these individuals of the same age move about and interact in the party. And that it's an example, but it also really bums me out because I know what the potential is for people as they get older, and it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be, the forward head, frozen thoracic spine, that kyphotic frozen posture where when we need to look from one side to the other, the entire body has to move. They don't have the dexterity or the potty posture to be able to manipulate and move their thoracic spine, let alone stand up and move quickly around, chase grandkids, do anything like that. And it's sad because it does not have to be like that. This individual will never be like that. So if you look at him and you say, well, he's the exception. Is he? Is he the exception? He's exceptional, right? But is he the exception, or is he simply the trained? And that's what I'm saying, is that not everybody will train and build muscle mass to look like Terry Crews, but everybody can build muscle mass that'll allow them to at least maintain their 50-year-old self and ability, I personally believe, into their 80s. Maybe not lifting as heavy or moving, obviously, as explosively, but posture and gait and day-to-day strength of, can I carry my groceries and ascend and descend the stairs? And there are plenty of examples of people out there, namely Jack LaLanne. Look how capable Jack was. Look how capable Arnold is. Look how capable Sylvester Stallone is. These people lived into their 80s or living into their late 70s, early 80s right now, and are still squatting and curling and pressing and capable of doing everything. Now, are they 80 years old? Hell yeah. They're older and they've got other health issues and they got other stuff going on. But as far as their quality of life and their capability and their abilities, they don't look anything like other 80-year-olds who are deconditioned and untrained. So you look at them and you're like, well, they're the exception. They're Arnold and they're Sylvester. Or did resistance training help them become Arnold? And Arnold had a great personality and an awesome accent and is charming as all get out. But what made Arnold really famous? His muscular body. He started winning Mr. Olympias. He got recognized by movie producers and they said, if this guy can act even a lick, we could put him on screen and this would be amazing. Imagine an individual who's supposed to play a robot. What would that robot look like? There's Arnold, right? The Terminator. Imagine if we were going to put someone on screen that was Conan the Barbarian, right? And he's going to conquer and pillage. What would that person look like? There's Arnold. Imagine if we were going to create an underdog boxer who maybe didn't have like the best skill set, but he was really mentally tough and so driven and focused. What would that person look like? And there's Sylvester Stallone at 220 pounds, right? Look at that guy. Those individuals were noticed not because of their acting skills, but because of their body and their physiques. You look at Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, and Rocky 3 and 4, that dude is chiseled and ripped, and we all remember those training montages and those scenes because of how fit he was. Now, if he looked like Damon Wayans in The Great White Hype, if he looked like that, nobody would remember those scenes. Nobody would joke about being in, the Russian Alps, whatever it is, up in the mountains with the snow and the Drago and doing all that. No one would remember any of that because he looks like Damon Wayans in The Great White Hype. He's got the belly and the gut and he's smoking cigarettes and drinking, bourbon or whatever he's doing. And he knocks homeboy out in 10 seconds and they're like, yep, don't believe the hype, right? It's the whole point of the movie. But he is not a physique of an elite champion. And so those elite presences, those individuals, they worked so hard and they built these frames and then they said, I'm just going to try to continue my daily practice. And as I get older, Arnold is still 80 years old and he wobbles a little bit and he hobbles a little bit and he's had 80 years of life, but he still has density to him. He still has pipes. He still has his quads. He still rides his bike every day. These are capable individuals because they continue to be capable individuals. You can't let gravity and time win. You have to keep fighting back. And this individual, this gentleman, is a great example of that. I'm so happy. I had quite a few people that sent this to me. I'm so happy that they did share this with me, and that I was able to get into the story a little bit and see through his video progression. He's a great example of not only a physically gifted individual who is doing the greatest he can with his genetics, but just even someone with poor genetics. I do not have great genetics. Neither of my parents were physical specimens. None of my grandparents were physical specimens, or my great-grandparents were physical specimens. I'm doing the best I can with the genetics that I have. And based on work ethic and good programming, you can build your potential body to very good abilities no matter what age you are at. That's the beauty of fitness. It's never too late to start. It's never too late to improve your quality of life. It's never too late to improve your capabilities and abilities to help you reduce falls and reduce that risk of early mortality. And that's really what this is. The more muscle mass you have, the better everything else. Everything else, you name it, the better it is. And that is basically proven through millions of studies that have been done now for the last 50 plus years on the value of resistance training. Get strong and stay strong and keep practicing every day. That will keep you away from crossing that disability threshold. I am Robert Linkle. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for being here with us, trainingtheolderadult.com. Thank you to our sponsor, TOA Select. Pop over there, take a look, see all you coaches out there and those non-coaches out there. If you need some training as well, head over to trainingtheolderadult.com. Click on the personal training client. Let me show you that really, really quick. We'll do, instead of just discussing it, we'll do one more drop on this guy. If you go back to trainingtheolderadult.com right here, I'm a personal training client. You can pop on here and dive into the bunker. This is our training facility in-house where we take you through all of our programs. We have guided workouts, we have tutorials, we have live video training, all of this included in here, along with some coaching from myself and from Dan, our physical therapist. We build up really good programs for you to be able to do on your own at home or to join us electronically. You can check out the bunker there. All right, everybody, have a great day. I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you. Ring the bell. Make sure you like the video, share, help us grow our community. Send this out to anybody you think that could benefit from it. I hope you have a lovely day. I appreciate you all so much. And until next time, continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia. Take care.